art by Samantha Badrock, and this is me, and this is my dad, Graham. And we're doing a Signwriter versus an artist, old school techniques versus new techniques for gilding.
There's no comparison. Gold leaf is the best. But for the younger people, you've got to use gold foil.
Now, I did some research last night.
Oh God, did you?
On gold leafing, and the earliest known people that did it were obviously the Egyptians, and they just went hell for leather and everything, and they banged down the gold by hand.
It's still beaten by hand. And Egyptians, those pharaoh masks you see, you think they're solid gold, they just basically transfer gold, exactly the same method as what I'm going to do shortly.
Yeah, it was really interesting that they used they used ceramic and what do you call it? What do they call it?
She's cheating. She's cheating.
What's our first?
She thinks she knows a lot, but she really doesn't.
I lost it.
It's a worry, isn't it?
Okay.
It really is a worry.
No, wait.
Lucky one of us knows what we're doing here.
So basically the same principle applies, but they used to use like clay and mud to stick it down, and then when we get to the 1500s, what's that era called?
The Renaissance, maybe?
No, not the Renaissance. The starts with H.
Oh.
No,
That narrows it down, doesn't it? H.
Well, it's going to call it like 15 and 1400s and 1200s. They used Paris of plaster.
It's plaster of Paris, actually. Young people don't know what they're talking about.
And they use plaster of Paris and they mix it in with pink paint and like put it on and use the gold.
Would you like me to start and show you how it's done?
One more interesting thing is that gold leaf is 0.1 millimeter, and 1 gram of gold can cover nearly 1 meter square.
It's 1/100,000th of an inch thin for those in the old term of feet and inches.
Okay, so let's do a comparison of the products that we're using today. Dad, do you want to tell everyone what you're using?
This is 24 karat gold leaf. It's called transfer gold, and each leaf now, would you believe, is about $8 a leaf. So when I started first signwriting in 1971, which is decades ago, it was minute compared to the cost of this now. A book now of gold leaf delivered anywhere in Australia will cost you close to $100. So that's why gold leaf is so bloody expensive. Anyhow, next.
Okay, and the paint that you're using and the type of paintbrush, which is really interesting actually.
God, really? This is yellow enamel. It always has to be enamel paint. It's a different property as to watercolour. It takes longer to dry and it's far more durable. You use yellow because if you happen to miss some pieces in the gold, it doesn't stand out as much. The brushes, which I've had some of these for 40 years, you look after things, they keep on lasting. So this is a sable haired brush. Like I say, they're wonderful things. Look after them, they'll last for decades.
Okay, so what I'm using is Espresso, and this isn't affiliated at all. I actually just bought this down at Spotlight while I was buying other craft items. It's $15 for the packet, and it is made out of
fake gold.
Composition leaf or imitation gold, made of zinc, brass and copper.
She thinks you'd know this, wouldn't you? Anyhow,
So,
what do we do?
I'm opening up my packet.
Oh God.
Okay, so it comes in a nifty
Where
little...
should they cover a road with it? It's so big.
Open up my precious fake gold. And a lot of jewellery back in the day was gold leaf, because gold was such a precious metal, they couldn't afford to...
It's gold foil, actually. It's hollow gold.
No, I mean back
Rolled
in the day.
gold.
I mean like, the 1500s and the 1600s and all that sort of stuff.
You're making it up.
I'm not, I read it last night in
don't believe
research
everything you
articles.
read.
I read research articles. Okay.
At least you would have had this open, wouldn't you? Really?
Alright, here is my shiny gold leaf.
Have a look at it.
Let's see what...
Yep, looks like fake gold. Yep. truth be known, if it was real gold, it'd be plain gold in a leaf.
What do you mean?
That's transfer gold, and that's equivalent of plain gold. That we use that on glass windows and shop fronts originally. Different sort of gold, exactly the same, but different sort of process.
Alrighty.
Alright, more notes.
Now I'm going to say one more thing. Is that the basic process hasn't changed in thousands of years. Wet, sticky surface, put gold on top, burnish off. It's like a 3-step process. Last time we tried a comparison, I used this Express It Gold stuff, and it kept like peeling, which was really weird. So I decided to get some PVA glue and give this a crack.
The idea, before she waffles any further, when you put this stuff, or pure gold, 24 karat gold leaf on, you have to, whatever you use, you apply it onto the surface and then you let it dry almost to 90% off. So it's just tacky, then you put the gold leaf on. But I'll tell you a secret which she doesn't know anyway. Can I start yet?
You going to tell me the secret?
No, I'll tell you right now.
No, don't tell me yet, because I'm gonna change it to that one there.
Oh, God, isn't that clear enough? Look at that.
No, because you can't see here. I'm going to close up on here.
Well, no one wants to look at you. This is real stuff.
No, I'm going to put it down here on the actual thing so they can see.
It has to be completely free of any, stop sniffing, free of any oil, water, moisture, because otherwise the paint will not stick, the gold will stick to it and you'll have gold bloody everywhere where you don't really need it. So what I'm doing, to take exercise, you use powder. It can be any sort of baby powder like Johnson & Johnson or lilac smell, but anyhow, this is what we're going to do. So you put a light coating on, you make sure your hands haven't got any moisture, and you use your brush like this. So remember, I'm doing this flat. I normally have this as a vertical surface because that's what Signwriters do, and I'm doing left-handed. So we'll just have a go. Let's see how we go. Try.
What are you painting? Are you painting anything in particular?
I'm going to try and paint an L, which is really difficult on the flat. But it just gives you some idea. I suspect I need to turn this up the other way around. It's like Mr. Squiggle on the 60s doing it upside down.
I actually did an article, a blog, on my Art by Samantha Badrock page, a blog about Mr. Squiggle, and that how it's actually really helps you see your picture better.
Pardon me for interfering here. Now that is the letter L, would you believe? I hope. Not a bow, but it's an L. So we're going to give that a break for about 10-15 minutes while the paint tacks off, and then Samantha can waffle on accordingly. Okay.
Okay, so now I'll change it over to my side and I'll do mine.
What are you doing, mate? It's a lovely bow in your hair.
We'll have some great blooper reels. Alright, so I'm going to do the letter L.
Good luck with that.
I read something else that was really interesting about gold leaf.
You just made this up too.
No, I did academic research. I'll put the links in. I'll put the links down below. You'll be all very impressed. That when they, like in the 1700s and 1800s, they would do it with they'd make a quill. Not that era. What era was it? They made it in the 1500s, and they do it with a quill. And they'd make the quill out of a feather. They'd get some hair from some squirrel or whatever, take a few hairs of it, bind it together, and then shove it down in the bone of the feather. And so when people thought that they were actually, drawing it on, it was actually a paintbrush, a very fine paintbrush.
This is too thick.
I'm gonna do this. Okay. I'm gonna look at your L. Let's see how you did it.
Lucky she can draw because she can't paint. Yes.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not a painting artist, I'm a sketch artist. So me and paintbrushes, we're not friends.
I told you about my new book. Worldwide publishing it's going to be. It is right now. You can buy it in America, England. You can even buy it at Walmart in the States. How good's that, eh?
Are you going to tell everyone what it's called?
eBay.
Go on.
Life's too short to wear dull shirts. Absolute bargain. It is.
Plugging your own product on the art
Waterstones
channel,
in
hey?
the UK. Every shopping Waterstones in the UK will stock it. Barnes and Noble in America.
And then you did a swish.
And then you can even buy it at the right bookshop. The second one's on the way. It's being published later this year by Pegasus in Cambridge. And I've emailed the third off to whoever wants it.
Okay, there's the L in glue.
That looks terrible.
It does not. And now I want to give this another crack because I feel like we know more about this product.
Oh, we do.
So we're going to give it a go, and it's supposed to match that. So last time we used this, we tried to do it with the, what would you call it? What would
that would be called a melly root.
What?
A melly root.
What's a melly root?
It's a hard bit of wood, which 50 years ago they were clearing area in Victoria, and they all these melly roots, and that's what she's going to try and use.
No, I'm using this matching espresso. I don't even know what it's actually called.
She's not very well organised.
Quality adhesive for gluing applications. I thought it had like an actual name. But last time we used the loose gold leaf,
we did.
and that was a bit of a blender. So I wonder. And I lack patience. That's why I'm a sketch artist, not a painter. I need to wait for it to dry. And here
Don't
we
get
go.
life's too short to wear dull shirts. Available everywhere. Dimmicks, Amazon, everywhere. It'll be far more interesting than what we're doing.
That's not the goal of this channel.
Blatant cross promotion here.
And the paper I'm using is just craft paper.
Well, so please use some newspaper, mightn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So how's yours? Is yours tacking off?
No, it'll be ages. So you might as well just go and have a cup of tea.
Everyone go have a cup of tea and come back.
And I'll try and drive this in the interim. Look at this. Look.
Alright, so I'm gonna take my gold leaf.
She can use a small piece, but no, she chooses to use a whole lot.
I'm gonna try do
God.
I'm not very good at these.
No, it's just bloody terrible, actually. Highly unskilled. Look at this.
Just,
You're
can
better
I
off to
have one gold?
better off to keep it and use it for Christmas decorations. Or make some baubles that go on a tree.
And did you know that the other way you can do it is they ground up the gold into like
They grind
dust.
up the gold, wrong tense.
They grind up the gold into dust, and then they mix it in with like a wet mix and apply it that way.
You can't.
And
grind
that's
it. You
the
can't
equates
grind
to
up
the-
gold. It's called bronze powder.
No, I
Yes,
read it
it
in an
is. I've
article.
used it. You
I
can't
will
grind
put that article down below.
You can't grind gold. It's a soft pliable metal. You cannot grind it. To use the gold powder, which is bronze powder, and they put a medium with it and a dryer, and you just stick that on. That's not as good as gold.
That
but it
was
looks
the
okay.
era, medieval era. The medieval era.
Lucky I wasn't around.
Although some might say
God,
that you
feel
might
like
have
I've
been around. You might have been around.
Have we finished yet?
Alright, so I'm going to burnish this off.
Oh God!
Right,
Burnish.
ready?
Burnish your backside. Look at it.
Yeah, we don't get banned from YouTube for saying backside. Right, here we
Really,
go.
isn't it?
Ah, it turned out when you do it properly. Last time it didn't look like this, did
No,
it?
it looked terrible
It
last
was
time.
pretty bad
We got
last
chewed
time.
by a bloody shark.
A gummy
That's
shark at
I
that.
must admit, that's quite an improvement from what I've seen.
From last time?
Yeah, last time was just terrible.
I think that's smushed and has gone.
You have to be very, very gentle with this process. You have to be almost not touch the surface. Not like... Yeah, great.
Right, there's my L, and that one was with the actual product that it's supposed to go with.
And you might as well slop the other bit on too, I
Might
reckon.
as well just pop it on.
Yeah, just pop it on.
Just pop
Get
it
a
on.
shovel.
And then with a light touch, we'll see if the glue works as well. Alright, and I'll just let that do its thing. I wish that was
Well, that's a vast improvement. Last time it was just terrible.
Well, that's the thing. It's because we used the loose gold leaf, and it was like all in like it was like shredded or something.
It feels a little bit damp, but we'll see how we go. Be careful that you don't use too much gold leaf, especially if you're doing this.
Wasted product.
Gently, you hold the paper, the transfer paper to one side. In one smooth action, very, very lightly.
Oh, I see what I did. I just picked up the gold leaf. You're supposed to pick it up with the sheet, eh?
No, you can't do that because you've got plain gold. So you take that off and look at that.
It doesn't look like much at the moment.
It's bloody brilliant.
It's just a blob.
Right, now I need some cotton wool that hasn't
Very
been...
worn.
The idea of the pattern on the background, whether it's timber or anything else, is so that your gold leaf doesn't stick to any moisture. So let's hope this works.
Would that powder work the same one, say if an artist was doing it with watercolour paper?
No.
You putting powder on the paper?
And there, considering I've painted it on a horizontal flat surface, if it was vertical, and I normally use a sign running stick, that would be a far better result. But for the sake of the exercise, there's your transfer gold letter.
That's your lesson for the day. Transfer gold leaf. If I had the opportunity or I had the desire, the thing which would enhance that would be sign writing a very thin grey or black shadow on the one side, usually the left hand side of the letter, and that would make the letter jump right out of any background surface. So, hope you've learned something today. Hope you've learned something. So it was good fun. We look forward to the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget, life's too short to indulge it. Bye.